and spill out dreamings, feelings, thoughts, and meanings, wearing our hearts on our sleeves, illuminating social discourse and our deeply held beliefs. And some of what we say scares people, or hopefully makes them think, or if we're doing it right, at least it should. People ask me how I am, and I say fine or good. But what I want to say is I am like graffiti scrawled or carved into the finish on a bathroom stall, a beautiful mess, or like a stain, or a dumpster fire, or I'm around, placed in my place, tied somehow behind, captive, bolted to a room by the street. No forward, no rewind, I pause, and I don't leave. Or maybe I should just say, listen, man, maybe I'm not okay. Like, I write what I feel what I write, right? And often I feel like a killer, viral, homicidal, murder weapon words, stomping and crashing around, staying in my safe zone because there's no one there for those words to be heard. Or like, I'm tired. High mileage look on my face, the one I can't see in the mirror because I smashed it again and again, crushing the pieces into the rug, heavy-footed pace and posture, domesticated thug. Or like, I don't know, my thoughts are dying, wrapped in the cursive rinds of crumpled paper thrown down all ratchet on the floor. My brain is like the manic-minded quotes and notes scribbled out on scraps and trash, taped in crazy order all over my walls and doors. Or like, my blood is like the daily ink siphoned from my heart and my mind, vein bled down a drain while I hurt myself. Writing is all about the pain, not the wrappers from the Band-Aids or the cut tubes, the antibiotic ointment, betadine smell or skin glue, or empty rolls of medical tape. I am a clusterfuck. Yeah. None of that other shit matters except for the ink, so don't overthink it. It's just how I do. I don't answer the door, and I don't answer the phone. If I don't know who is calling, I Google the number so I can stay in my place alone. I'm not like everyone else out there, but in my place doing what I do, I'm just like me, through and through. And that's just fine. So next time someone asks how I am, maybe I just say, no, man, I'm not okay. But I'm safe because I'm a writer and I got something to say. All right. Wrote that today, this afternoon. This was called Empire. All empires end. Steam and smoke emanate from the holes we poke in democracy. The rocket ship is flying, but it certainly ain't flying free, more like free falling, confounded, indecisive to its fate, to be or not to be. We the people, for the people, calling to a flag that loiters at the top of its mast. One that only whispers in place of screaming loud, proud, land of the free, home of the brave. Its prominence, like the ground below, crumbles in indifference and fear, now forever near its end of days. This republic wallows left and right, red and blue, reeling black and white and yellow and brown, treading water close to drowning in amber waves of grain, urban battlefields and the rotting corpses of its unfruited plains. Government-sanctioned mongers of war, totalitarian trolls spread propagandized reason, home-wrecking whores hiding unlimited term holes, every day justifying discrimination, racism, genocide, and treason. Genocide, deporting immigrants, closing the border door, trying to keep the future at bay by keeping the future soldiers of liberty out of the country, out of play. Madness. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless tempest tossed to me. Are we the hypocrites we seem destined to be? We the people ignoring the new colossus engraved at the very feet of Our Lady Liberty? Erroneous thieves stealing from the examples of fallen empires littered throughout time, The suffrage of national blunt force trauma held steadfast in ignorance sublime. All empires end. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, quickly becomes invisible when we look away from the all. Separation of church and state, in God we trust, dying on the vine. Our nation corrodes under layers of flaky, cutly rust. Nobody's coming to save us. Not God, not ally, not friend. We the people sit complacent, waiting for apocalypse. All empires end. Okay, I got one more here. This is about our drug problem. I kind of wanted to do a piece, so I'm a recovering addict that I was out there using for like better than 40 years. And so I wrote a lot about that. This is a piece that I think encapsulates the situation that we're all going through right now, start to finish. So it's called TikTok. TikTok, dope time, prisoner in the mind time, cross the thin blue line time, downtrodden profile and harassing rascals time, junkie put your hands where I could see them time, take a charge time, circumvent probable cause time, investigation, interrogation, indignation time, not dropping a dime, hit on a sniff by a half-correct canine time. Central booking time, open case in the face time, stop the jail time, high-end cash bail time, social stigma time, time to shape up time, treatment time, reprogramming reticence time, and it's about time. Kangaroo court judgment time, public pretender defender time, plea bargain, no bargain time, convicted felon for being sick time, another statistic time. Nonviolent drug offender time, possession with intent time, 2 in, 2 out time, 2 years free rent time, walk the line time, don't cross the line time, inmate get in line time, line up against a wall time, orange jumpsuit, bad shoes time, no me time, no break time, no free time, lights out time, inmate 3264025, stop your wine time, D-block to the library time, punched in the mouth time, knock a fucker out time, solitary confinement time, talking to the wall time, crawling out my skin time, PTSD setting in time, incarceration, constipation, predatory charges for communication time, broken family time, fallen angel time, hooch time, chow line time, med line time, mail line time, canteen commissary time, check the clock time, TikTok time, workout time, walk around in circles time, sleep time, all the time, game time, TV time, read a Bible time, waste of time, release time, good time, probation and parole time, better life manifestation time, idle time, vicious circle time, addiction kicking in time, relapse, stick a vein time, overdose time, turning blue and purple time, Narcan not working time, sweating, steaming, shallow breathing, eyes retreating, lungs seizing, EKG beeping, heart stopped beating. Now there's no more time.
Yeah, James is simply the best at performing poetry like that. Thank you very much. So, and now, next up will be Mary Chancellor from Fond Du Lac. Just have to put the mic down a little bit, maybe. Right?
Yes, please. Remember, I'm short.
Let's make sure you're still on the camera.
Yeah, you'll probably have to pull that down. Okay. Now, I don't know, following him is kind of hard, but mine's a little bit softer. And this one, the first one is for the college kids and the dirty behemoth, filled with the curious, take us on our daylight trek, and be ye gentle with us. Drive us all around the town, let us see geology. We for sure will write it down and give you no apology for saying what we thought of all the rocks we see. Write only what you might, they tell us. Don't be goofy. We learned about the glaciers. We saw the sand and clay. We walked among the features of things that won't give way, trekking down the well-worn paths to places wet and wild. Then up we go to zeniths to glimpse the scene so mild. We traveled many avenues. We climbed atop the hills. We learned of many hidden streams and tills. Then back to class to sort it out, to remember what we learned, and keep the knowledge till the test to see what grade we earned. All right, get up here. Now this one is from just being at my house and thinking about things. There's a woodpecker in my tree. There's a woodpecker calling me. The suet's gone, he said. Shall I eat these seeds instead? They're good for me, I know, but seeds I will forego. Let the birds eat them all. When you get the suet, call. This one's kind of thinking about my teenage years. Dad's mad. I was bad, now I'm sad. Beer was had, but only a tad. It's sort of a fad with a friend, a lad, who was a cad. He told my dad at my old pad. Now Dad's mad. And this one is kind of a thought on war. And the guys that in my age was the 60s, and they were all going to Vietnam. And this is what happens. Ray John, safe from war, we the people sent soldiers to fight our political and religious battles with peoples who felt they had it right. Ray John, when you were through doing what we could not, you came home with war, brutality, and death still in your psyche. You could never stop remembering. You were told to live with it. All the while, we the people shunned the thoughts and results of the brutalities that we made you perform. We are safe in our calm, gentle world, while you, Ray John, veterans of wars past and present, we the people need to learn the value of human life amid such strife. We still send boys, men, and even girls to fight for what we believe is right. Others also send their boys, men, and girls to fight for their assurance that they have the right. War is a matter of perspective, and someday, perhaps soon, we will know this. We will cease to send others to do what we do not want to. You went, you served, and now you, Ray John.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hold the mic down.
The innocents lie in beds of their youth, untouched, untainted, unbroken. They fear the monsters under the bed, but what happens when the monsters crawl in with them? The sheets of white, now stained in red, the putrid stink of evil fills the air. They blame themselves to hide the shame, There will be no confession of these truths. There are no Hail Marys. They bear the sins as their own and hang themselves upon the cross. What's done in dark will be brought to light, but the night is everlasting. The holy water replaced with spirits. The past is haunted, but the ghosts won't die. Judas lies, they weep. Betrayal more twisted than a knife in the back. For the wound that seeps despite the sorrow proves nothing hurts like those who you love. Why is she so weird? They whisper as I walk by. They think they've got me pinned, and in a way, I'm glad they think they do. There is no way that they can handle it. They couldn't even fathom if they knew. It's darker than the inkiest sky, a nightscape with no moon. I dodge their glances, but they haven't got a clue about the things I dodge in a family room. The shouts that carry down the hall, I tremble alone as I take in our doom. Diamonds gather in my eyes, I hope they only see the shine. Don't look deeper than the surface. That's all I can share right now without implosion. Closeness is where the pain lives, so keep your distance lest you slay me. If I push them away before they know me, then they can't hurt me right where I bleed. Sheltered in by cloistered chaos, a promise of tomorrow that never comes. What's done in dark will come to light, but not if we deny the monsters of the night. So let them talk if they must. It isn't them that I trust. And to be honest, there isn't anyone. Any that I've had have come and gone. What's one to do when the nights turn on you? The ones who swore their allegiance, defend the dirty poison instead. So I let them think that I'm weird. By any accounts, they aren't wrong. For anyone who's normal doesn't keep their killer around. I'll end on a slightly happier note. In the back of a cramped dance hall, Eddie stood as he waited. For what, he wasn't sure, but he knew the answer would come to him somehow. He took a sip from his old-fashioned. Not his normal, but the mood felt right. The body spun as the upbeat tempo kept them in its time. His stomach clenched with nervous anticipation. What was it that held him up in knots? His brown hair combed back neatly, and his hands wrung together. The air around him, thick and humid, evidence of the hot August day. His clean blue jeans were bright and comfortable, a stark contrast to the ones he wore to farm. Just then, the crowd parted as if he was Moses crossing the sea. There, across the throng of bodies, stood a woman with a sweetness about her. As they locked eyes, he knew he needed to know her. Before his nerves could get the best of him, he strode toward her with fervor. She stood there waiting for his arrival, her smile shy, but her eyes alight. By the time he reached her, the crowd returned to its previous state. He told her he knew it was getting late, but he'd buy her a drink if she told him her name. Her last thing out as she took in his boldness, her name was Helen, and she loved old fashions.
Wonderful. There's definitely some phrases in there that I'm going to remember. I probably just got it wrong with cloistered chaos. Yeah, love that. Loved the whole concept of what if the monster calls into bed. And was going to skip this tonight, not do it, but I guess I'm going to do it anyway. I want to read just a scene from my book, The Tao of Apathy. And it's actually almost farcical at times. It's looking at working at a large institution. My inspiration was the novel Catch-22, and I kind of think of it as Catch-22 meets TV show Scrubs. So it has some very characters, some strange names in there. And this scene I'm going to read from, I want to pay tribute to Abbott and Costello, who's on first routine.
Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, no. Again, you young people don't know it, but It was first heard on this radio, but if you don't know it, I don't know if you're going to find it funny, but still Google it and find out. And I just want to pay tribute to that. So we'll see how it goes. And so this first scene is an opening of a departmental meeting. Okay. Grumby stood at the head of the table and bowed his head. Father, will you please begin our meeting with a prayer? Father Chuck stepped away from the corner he was standing in and opened his big red Bible. He was a thin, small man with a bald pate, and James Earl Jones' voice reverberated out of a Don Knotts body. Not to go with Don Knotts. Lord, please give these men your wisdom as they make important decisions today. Guide them to do your will. We pray that our hospital will be a place of physical and spiritual healing. Watch over these men and protect them from paper cuts as they flip through documents. May their coffee not be bitter and all their donuts be jelly filled. And may your will be done despite what transpires here today. Amen. Amen. Thank you, Father. That was real good, he said. Father Grumby. So they work at a hospital. And I was a PN at a hospital once. And now we go to the next meeting. The elder boy replies, a candy bar and a pat on the head, Mr. Petty said. Okay, construction, as you guys well know, is underway and is converting 53 patient bedrooms to office spaces that we're going to rent out. This will put the number of beds at 150. 175. 175. The number 175 floated around in Mr. Seuss's head. His department was one of those few that had to account for every patient. So for Mr. Seuss, the higher the current census, the more important he was. This week his importance was hovering at 175 on a scale of 203 beds. Wait a minute, Seuss found himself saying. Our census of those still alive today is 175. How can that be? Is the only one wondering me? How can we remodel rooms putting up model and trim when sick people are still using them? Our construction crews only work in the rooms where the patients are sleeping or comatose so as not to interfere with the medical treatment, the Barachi said. And really, most of those rooms being eliminated that are still needed are in the geriatrics wing. We can just wheel those people out whenever. They just sit around there and moan all day. The director of geriatrics stood up. It is my expert opinion that you're right, I guess. Mr. Petty motioned for the geriatric director to sit down. This conversation is wasted time. It's already happening. And regardless of how many patients are in those rooms, our budget analysis shows we do not have a need for them. It does show that we'd like the rent from those rooms. Okay, next item of business is my new plan on creating 3 new departments. I'm going to pass something up. Okay. So I'm going to scout for new directors at my next family reunion. What we need to do today is decide where we can put these new departments. Patty stood up and put a diagram of the hospital floor plans on each easel. This is what I want to do. I want to put my new wing of holistic organizations on the first floor. He pointed to the first floor where the WHO department carved out of patient rooms. I want to put my wing of healthy attitudes today on the floor above that, and my wing of healthy youths on the floor above that. The diagram shows what on the second floor and why on the third floor. Does everybody understand? What? They all said in unison? What's on the second floor? Who's on second? Dr. Danica asked. No. Who is on first? I'll take this, Montgomery Hall said. Who is on first? That's right. It's simple. The directors began to take random turns talking. Then who is on first? Right. Along with the other departments already there. What will be on second? Why will be on third? What will be on the second and third floors? No. What is only on the second floor? Please just discuss what is being on second. Why? Why will be on the third floor? Why? Yes, it's going to be on the third floor. I know the third floor, you're thinking, why on the third floor? But it makes sense. What makes sense? I value your input, Mr. Freeman, but it doesn't make sense about what on the third floor. What will be on the third floor? Don't take that tone with me, Mr. Skinner. We can discuss putting one on the 3rd floor, but don't tell me who is going on the 3rd floor. Who is on the 1st floor, Mr. Hall-Benchy? Who is on the 1st floor? Mr. Hall just said that, Mr. Swank. Please pay attention. What are we talking about? Don't try to fake that you're paying attention. We're talking about what and who and why. Screw you, Patty. How did you hear about my pet project? It's not even included in these plans. My skin cancer resource and effective waiting with Unity will be on a separate site. Why? No, screw you will be on a separate site. Screw you, Patty. Yep, that's right. I wanted to read this poem tonight as a tribute to friends of ours, Jeffrey and Debbie McAndrew. They have a 27-year-old son whose funeral was yesterday. And Debbie liked this poem. Their child had autism. My kid, who's now 22, has autism. So this is when he was young. It's called I Believe. I believe I can cure your autism with each push of the swing. Once the movement terrified you, unsure of where you were in space, then you loved it, and I would push you like a normal kid, like I pushed your sisters. The mind and sense connected, I know. So you could get used to swaying like a beginner on a trapeze. Once steady, you would make sense to the world around you. Or like a cheap maze where you waggle the game to get the small metal balls seeded through the obstacles and into the divot that wins the game. Your sense of self will go around and sink into the right spot. I know movement is good. I want to believe it's magical. So I give another push, feeling I'm pushing you forward. One hand on each knee you require, a push every time. You swing back to me and I say silly things and you laugh. But sometimes you're within yourself, just enjoying the movement, and I am quiet too. It's okay to be within yourself sometime and just feel the breeze. Watch the sun behind western clouds telling us that the day is fleeting, but right now is beautiful, right now is enough. I make you sign for more, and then you give more pushes. Even once I'm ready to be done, you touch your fingers together and I go on. We will make a little more progress in your therapy today. Our destination is not linear. It's back and forth, back and forth. Our destination is right here.
H-O-R-R-I-B-L-E H-O-R-R-I-B-L-E H-U-M-A-N-B-I-N-G. It occurred to me this morning on the tail end of a cigarette, somewhere near the bottom of a coffee mug, in terms less than explicit, that I may be horrible. Humans like me are born out of this world, not in. Begot, bred like a virus, toxic, ill-equipped to exist, a conflicted life, unsure, waiting for its cure. Swaddled in an emblematic reality cyst, addicted, bitten by imaginary teeth before being devoured. Spiritually bankrupt, religiously confused, thieves. Self-righteous soul abused, needs. Infinitely spinning, thrown in oil. Food deposited to fry, biological excrement, language a detriment, wholly insignificant, independent thought, indiscriminate, success, weighted vanity, presence limited, consciousness connected, yet forever preoccupied with questions, quality, logic, wants and whys, a stagnant view, suspended animation, clouded in blue, painted with brush strokes, dampened with tongues twisted in salivated lies. We reason, we be, we think, we bargain, rationalize, and believe. We are exalted from birth, but only happy in death. Oh, horrible whores, we human animals, intolerable, inconsolable, waiting patiently for the inbred womb out there and the spaces in between inside to wither, wilt, and exhale one last breath. Only then finally being allowed to die. It occurred to me this morning, human beings don't thrive, we survive. Just another strain of a horrible disease. Horrible, Horrible, Dissease. Thank you. That's what I got.
Sounded better in the shower.
No.
You always sound better in an hour.
All right, anybody else? Okay. All right, so there's people that read tonight. I can get your name and your ad, because I have it recorded, so I'm gonna put it up. Because I'm gonna put it up because it was good. And if you wanted to join I have a Facebook group. It's another thing you have to be 85 years old, right, to be on Facebook. Okay, but there's a Facebook group, or Oshkosh, the people, if you wanted to post your poems, people would love that. And so, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thanks for keeping Mary and James and I just from speaking to ourselves. We would have had a good time, but you guys made it much better. Thank you.
Found my book if you ask me.